This is a brand new auto tumbler heat press. It's got a lot of great features, so we're going to make a project together and talk about this machine. If you want to sublimate any kind of a mug, tumbler, or cup, you need a tumbler press. This one has some great features. It comes with a machine, power cord, some heat-proof tape, and a pair of gloves. So we're going to turn it on, we're going to walk through everything, and then we're going to do a project so you can see how this works. This has a nice bright screen on the front for all of your settings, and you can really set some detailed parameters here. It has a start button and then an emergency stop button as well. In this space here, you are able to hold tumblers up to 30 ounces and mugs up to 15 ounces. It has a really large heating plate. Once you turn the machine on, you want to make sure there is a blank inside the heating element. This is just going to help your machine last longer and help it heat up a little bit faster. This machine allows you to set detailed, precise settings for each project. There are 4 default modes here that come with really standard settings. However, you can go in and change the temperature and time. First, set the temperature. Then you set the time for the first press. Then it's going to rotate. You set the time for the second press. And then you are able to set the pressure. This is not a feature found in budget tumbler presses, and it's really important to have to get the perfect image on your cup. So what you're going to do is measure the diameter of the blank that you're putting in, and then reference the DN value, and that's going to tell you how much pressure you need to set the machine for. The preset pressing modes have some standard pressures in them, but as you play around with projects, you may find that you need more or less for a certain blank. We're going to make a skinny stainless steel tumbler. I printed off an image. If you are new to sublimation and making tumblers, take a look at this video up above. This just walks you through a beginner project on how to print and what you need to print sublimation designs. We're going to use the tape that came with this machine, and I like to have a bunch of pieces pre-cut. You can also get a sublimation tape or a heat-proof tape dispenser. Those are fantastic. One of the most important parts of sublimating a tumbler is making sure that the paper is pressed really tightly against the blank. You don't want any air pockets. You want this ink to completely transfer onto the tumbler. I want to make sure my tumbler is completely clean and free of any dust or lint. You want to set your tumbler down on something that has a ridge in it. You can use, I'm using my Cricut trimmer here. You could use a roll holder. You could use a towel that's rolled up as well. I use a lot of tape on mine, and this is just to make sure that, again, I have no air gaps. I'm going to tape the edges first, and this is not a full wrap. Full wraps are awesome to do, but I wouldn't suggest them for a beginner project because there's a lot more that you need to do to make sure you don't have a seam on the back. So we're going to do a design that doesn't quite go all the way around. Once the edges are taped, now I can go back and tape the top and the bottom. The heat press is ready to go. I actually kind of like there's no beeping on this one. It just gets to your temperature and stays there, so it doesn't have any loud, obnoxious beeping. So I'm going to take out that blank that I had in there that was just a placeholder, and I always have like a little hot pad to put it on because these get really hot. And now it's time to place the covered tumbler into the machine. I like to place my seam kind of off to the left and to the back a little bit. When this rotates, it's going to rotate 90 degrees, and I want to make sure that that seam isn't the one that is exposed. So I'm going to place it in here and just go ahead and hit start. And from here, the machine is going to do all the work. I don't need to take it out at all. It's going to count down for that first 60 seconds. The machine's going to open, rotate, close again for another 60 seconds. And then when it's done, I can just pop it out. I've let this cool down. You can absolutely take the paper off before it cools, but I like to use my bare hands. So now we're just going to pull this off. And if I did a good tape job and I had a nice, even, appropriate press, this image is going to look beautiful. And it does. This is fantastic. Pressing mode 4 is for mugs or other items with handles. This does not have auto rotation. You do not want to rotate something with a handle. It will not be good for your blank or the machine. So we're going to do pressing mode 4, and I've already checked the diameter and the circumference of this, and I can go with these standard settings. I don't need to change anything. So I've got my design all taped to my mug, and I can place it in here and let the machine press. So here's my final thoughts on this machine. I really like that it is big, sturdy, and heavy. When you're working with something that gets this hot, I don't want to run the risk of it moving around. So I really like that it is sturdy. I love the screen, and I love that I'm able to adjust my temperature, my time, and my pressure by just single digits. So I can really tweak this to get my projects to be exactly what I want them to be. Because it auto rotates, it just takes a lot of guesswork out of it. So the auto rotation is huge. And it does have a nice large heating plate, so I can do large capacity tumblers up to 30 ounces and mugs up to 15 ounces. I also think the price is really great for what you get with this machine. So you can find this on Amazon. The links are down in the description if you want to take a look at them. I also shared some of the blanks that I am using in this video. If you are just getting started with sublimation, take a look at my sublimation playlist. There are incredibly beginner videos in there to get you started, and then some more advanced techniques as well. If you found this helpful, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I am here every week with brand new videos helping you move forward in your creative journey. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.